Whiskey to Familia family. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Mash and Drum Whiskey Wednesday night. I am Jason C. Welcome. I am back after a week off. A nice little kind of work/vacation. Was in Boston for almost a week. I was in Boston for I was there Tuesday and then just got home Sunday. Been trying to catch up with content but yeah, glad to be back here in Whiskey Wednesday night. Hope everyone is doing well. Missed you guys. And tonight we have some epicness right next to me. Some really, really cool bottles that I'm going to do some live reviews of, get some first impressions before I do the formal reviews, the formal, recorded reviews before we get into it. So this will be a lot of fun to kind of try this with you guys. And then a little bit later on, I have a blind tasting because a few weeks here I'm going to be up for Matt Madness, my next round that I made it through the first round. Hopefully I could keep this thing going, and I need to start doing blinds again because I took a little bit of a break. So it'll be fun to get back in some of these blind tastings and do more of these. So I have a blind tasting submitted by Kenneth Rathburn that I'm going to be doing tonight. There's 6 different whiskeys in here. I have no idea. He sent me the key. No idea what he sent, but I know he has some really unique stuff. So we'll go from there and see what he sent and see how well I do. I'm just going to try to time myself and see how fast I can maybe guess some things, maybe guess some ages, maybe guess, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But really, the star of the show tonight is going to be this Heaven Hill 20-year. This is not my bottle. I had one of my viewers actually send that to me. So a big shout out to him if he's watching. Thank you so much for sending that along. It's a lot of trust to send that bottle to me to review and then in the mail and then send it back. So I really appreciate him doing that. Then I have the Sour Mash whiskey from 13 Colony. They were kind enough to send me one of the last few bottles I have of this. And then also a bottle that's going to be releasing, I think Friday at Bardstown Bourbon Company is the new Bardstown Foursquare rum finish, which a lot of people are really excited about. I already did a small taste over on Dusty Dan's channel yesterday. So I had some first impressions. I want to see if it opened up a little bit at all, but we'll get into all of it tonight. But first and foremost, cheers, guys. What the hell is up? Missed you guys. Yes, the 20-year mellow corn, says Medium Ugly. That's basically, so that's why I took out the mellow corn because it's basically a 20-year version of that. So really excited to try that. I thought Jason was pointing to the mellow corn. Yes, the 20-year mellow corn. Please send me my mellow corn back once you're done. I will do that, Zach. I'll send that bottle right along, half full. I'm nipping on some low budget Evan Williams bottle and bond, not too shabby. May you all enjoy your tasty fares. Awesome. So let's see. We got Travis Robertson in the house early tonight. Jason is the 13th Colony Sour Mash new. I heard they're stopping making it. So this, from what I understand, is sourced from Wyoming whiskey. I have some details on the mash bills, but I think all their stuff is pretty much up to ages, so I don't think they have to do that anymore. So we'll see. William Wiley in the house. What is going on, man? Mike Franklin is here. Ham Turkey. Chris Buzalencia. Roy R. does cocktails. Bo's Wine Guys in the house. What's going on, man? Peach Coke. He's ready in Oregon. What's going on? What's up, Oregon? Nice to see you. James Lay in the house. The beautiful bully. Love that picture. Steel 11 is here. MJ. Hey, Lily's here. How you doing, Lily? What's going on, MJ? Cheers, everybody. Medium Ugly. Just said hi to him. Jeff Perkins in the house. David Barons. Blind Squirrel. What's going on, buddy? He's ready in Tejas. ASW plus Amurano plus Padron. He goes tonight. Oh, damn, James Lay. I like your style. James, is that our pick? I'm just curious. Hey, Sandeep Chima's here. How are you? Nate Cox is in the house. Justin Kim. Whiskey Juice. Danny Spirits. Mike Hunter is here. Eric Bogard is in the house. Isaiah Streed. Excited for tonight's reviews. We'd love to get into the HH20, but you're not feeling well tonight. Sorry, Isaiah. Hope you feel better, man. Average Drinker Dara. She is going against the Grease and also Chad from its Bourbon Night. I think this week on Matt Madness. Take him out, Dara. And congrats on 5,000 subscribers. Everybody, please subscribe to Dara over the Average Drinker. She does a wonderful job. Wendy Miller is here. How you doing, Wendy? Saucy Shane, keeping it saucy. Mark Hoyle is here, and I just have to keep catching up here. Top Dog, JC, you get my Eddie Bardstown collection offering. No, I did not, but we're going to talk about that tonight a little bit. I have not. Maybe, maybe you find it, soon, but haven't seen it yet. Outside the Star OTS, what's up, nerds? What's going on? Shauna Marie D in the house. How you doing, Shauna? Nice to see you. All right, Master Drum. Yes, first taste, full of cinnamon toast crunch. Yep, that's basically what it is. Cinnamon toast crunch, a little bit of that wheated bourbon, essence comes through. It's got like a slight, like look for like a little bit of like almost like an apricot note on the very, very finish of that one. I know that it's hard to find because the cinnamon just kind of overpowers it, but it's kind of hidden there a little bit. So tonight I'm kicking things off with this bottle right here. This is the brand new barrel bourbon batch 34. As you can see, I have a lot of bottles to catch up on because I'm just like behind in reviews. I have to really get my ass moving with some of these bottles I have to review. So I figure I'll get some first impressions with you guys tonight, like I love to do. Now, I loved Barrel Batch 33. I don't know. Let me know in the chat. Any of you guys get a chance to have that one? The last release, I think 33 was actually in one of my top bourbons of the year, like tasting. Like I thought that thing was really good. It really stood out. Wasn't too much of the Dickel coming through on it. So let's see what we get in 34. Let me know also in the chat where you're drinking right now. Share a pour with me right now. Dusty Dan in the house. What's going on? Terrence Walker, what kicks do you have on, Jason? Oh, we're already starting early. What kicks do you have on? These are, if you guys follow my Instagram, you probably saw these already. These are the Jordan 11s. These are the 7210 Jordan 11 low tops. If you actually look on the tongue here, I don't know if you could see that. Not really. There's some writing right there on the tongue. And basically it says, inspired by the most historic season, led by the greatest player ever. So this shoe was kind of, homage to the 72-10 season that the Bulls had. Obviously before, it was broken by the Golden State Warriors. But yeah, I'm not really a high top 11 guy, but I love the low tops. So, yeah, got those. 33 was terrific. Anxious to hear your thoughts on the 34. All right, well, let's get into it here. So as usual, the minimum age requirement on this, guys, or the minimum age in the bottle is 6 years old. But knowing barrel bourbon, there's some pretty high age stuff in here. So distilled in Kentucky, Indiana, and Tennessee. So this is your standard, like, your 3-state batch that Barrel likes to do. So let's see here. You talking about the Bruins? Yeah, the Bruins are having a season. Don't cut out my Rangers, though. Rangers are coming. Rangers looking good so far in the playoffs. All right, so on the nose, I know the first thing everybody asks, does it smell like, like Tennessee whiskey? And I don't get any of the minerality that you're used to with a, Tennessee whiskey. Rhymes with pickle. This is more of a, this one actually is more MGP forward to me. I feel like I'm getting more of like a cinnamon graham cracker type thing. Man, a lot of cinnamon, actually. A little bit of that orange zest too. But I get orange zest in both George Dickel and George Pickle. Yeah, that's going to be my new whiskey brand. I won't get sued for George Pickle whiskey. And that combination of like orange and like gingerbread that you get in some of the higher age George Dickel products or Tennessee whiskeys, and also what you get also with MGP. Victor Sowie. What's up, Victor Sowie? Nice to see you. All right, let's give this one a try. I like it on the nose. I don't think it would kind of put anybody off. Let's give it a go. Cheers, guys. Wow. There's a lot going on there. I forgot. If I did not mention it, this is 114.62 proof. 114.62. Hey, Jason, sipping on that Lucky 7 Holiday Toast, you recommend and loving it as it opens up, getting below the shoulder now. That's just a great whiskey juice. All right. Mr. Mushnick is here. He says, love the channel, watching from San Antonio. Sipping on some Blue Note Barrel Pick Uncut. That's awesome, man. Thanks for hanging out. Damn, this has a finish on it. This has a spice. Now, granted, this is my first pours of the day. So, you know, maybe it's a little skewed, but I'm getting a really good, there's a lot of like that high, I'm getting a lot of high rye. This is way more spice forward than the 33, if I remember. Where is the 33? Do I have that on hand somewhere? I don't know where that bottle is, damn it. This is what happens when you have so many damn bottles. You don't even know where the hell they are. I would do a comparison right now, guys, but I don't know where that bottle is. But I will. You'll see the full compare on the video. But what I can tell you, man, this is getting really nice and sweet on the nose. This is just creamsicle, vanilla, caramel. This is a really well blended. I feel like these are just getting better and better. I feel like the 30s are kind of a nice sweet spot here. Can't get enough of the Stranahan's picks. Oh, I love Stranahan's picks. To me is purely like drinking pure apple pie. I love it. It kind of tames down the more you sip it. Maybe a slight hint of the Tennessee whiskey on the back end of it, but the front of it is all like spice and sweet. And then there's a little bit of, I think the older whiskeys that are in this are really kind of prevalent on the back end of it, but it's not, again, it's just a really well blended barrel bourbon. This is going to have to open up a little bit and get a little bit more, you know, deep down into it. So tonight, I haven't done some giveaways in a while, so I want to give away some of my barrel picks that I've been doing. If nobody's gotten a chance to try it, I'm going to be giving away some barrel picks tonight. So any super chat will get you in the mix. I do need some money to help me track if I have a volunteer, whether it's Richie Z or whoever can help me track. Let me know who could track the winners or the names in the chat for me tonight real quick, because I am going to give away probably about 4 or 5 bottles tonight. So just let me know. Looking at that shirt, I have to mention the new Sagamore 8-year rye is fire. King Sagamore. That's my favorite rye whiskey I've tried this year. That thing is an absolute banger. That is a buy and back it up. Zach H asking, as a whiskey noob, what flavor profiles do you expect from young whiskey versus old whiskey? The easiest one I could tell you, Zach, is that younger whiskey, you're going to get a lot more of, you know, look for more of like a cornbread type flavor profile to it. Like real corn forward. You're not going to have a lot of sweet oak. It'll be a little bit grain forward. And sometimes even it being a little bit tasting the alcohol a lot can give you, first of all, color is going to give you a good indication of how old it is. Now I'm just talking bourbon because, you know, you get into some other, you know, realms of bourbon. Now, if we're talking Kentucky, man, this is like, now I'm like thinking about it. It opens up a rabbit hole now. Poor Zach. I'm about to like overload him with information. If you're talking Kentucky bourbon, look at the color. Usually, generally a very light color will give you a clue as to, you know, the whiskey's age a little bit. The lighter the color, generally, it's going to be a little bit younger. If you smell it, bourbon's primarily corn. If you could pretty much smell corn or cornbread on the nose, you could pretty much tell it's probably in that 3 to 4, maybe 5-year range. The darker it gets, usually the longer it's aged. But, you know, there's outliers too. Like you have a whiskey like this, which is aged in Wyoming and is about 7 years old. I mean, that's pretty dark for a 7-year-old whiskey. You have bourbons in Texas that are extremely dark for the age. But if you're just talking Kentucky, really look at the color and smell it for that, any of that, like that corn grain. Let's see here. You could track for me? Thanks, Richie. All right, Cal Sime, who do you think the Falcons take at 8? It's a good question. I actually think the Falcons are going to try to trade up, but we'll see what happens. But if anything, I think they're going defensive. I think they're going defense again. I think they're going to go look for a defensive end that could actually sack somebody. I don't think the Falcons have had anyone that could sack anyone, you know, for years. It's been a while. So, What was that bottle that had apricot finish? That was the. Oh, I was talking about the. Oh yeah, maybe trade down too. They could trade down. You know, maybe get some more picks. All right, the giveaway party started. Yeah, 13th Colonies from Georgia. So, but this is sourced from Wyoming, Paul P. But we'll get into that. So tonight I'm giving away, and for the patrons that have gotten this pick, this is my Dancing Goat 8-year corn whiskey finished in Spanish oak, and we called this the Spaniard after one of my favorite movies of all time, The Gladiator. So I'll be giving away this bottle right here. I'll also be giving away I'll be giving away a set of my Cedar Ridge picks. I'll also be giving away what else am I giving away? The Cedar Ridge picks. Oh, and I'm also giving away 2 Rebel cast strength picks, cast strength beaters. So all these are going to be going into the giveaway tonight. We'll give away a bunch of bottles. So yeah, but Kyle, I think that's going to be the last one because now they have stuff that's all their own. So I wouldn't think they're going to keep going with that. The Dancing Goat is fire. Let's see here. Was sipping on that delicious bottle last night. Yeah, it's a good one. So get this bottle. Thank you so much, JG. Blind Squirrel, cheers to another drumming brother. All right, so any super chat tonight will get you in the running to win one of 4, maybe 5 bottles. We'll see how it goes. All right, last sip of this one. This is getting more and more orange cream. If you guys like orange, you like citrus, you like blood orange, you like almost like an orange, like a creme brulee, like with an orange zest on it. This is what that tastes like. Yeah, totally. That's good. You know, I got to say, reminds me a little bit of Wild Turkey a little bit. That's good. I'll have to compare this to 33 to see which one I like better, but batch 34 is pretty damn good. All right. Let's go. If I win, send it to Todd first. All right, Saucy. All right, let's see here. Megan Farr says she wants the Spaniard with good reason. It's a really good whiskey. All right, so since we already talked about this sour mash, I do want to try this one. So the details for this 13 Colony sour mash is that it's distilled in Wyoming. Not a lot of options, as far as mash bills go, but it is, it's a wheated bourbon distillery. So if you go off of the general wheated bourbon mash bill that Wyoming uses, you're looking at 68 corn, 20% wheat, 12% malted barley. So that's what I generally think that this is. I know Brandon Reeves says it was my birthday last week. Just saying. Brandon Reeves, happy birthday, buddy. Oh man, he's America. That is a hell of a cork right there. All right. We got 300 people already in the chat. Guys, thanks for watching tonight. Please hit the like button below. Really appreciate it. If you know anybody that likes whiskey, wants to learn a little bit more about what they're drinking, please tell them to watch and subscribe as well. You're gonna be seeing some more short videos from me, doing some little history tidbits coming up real soon. I'm kind of like planning all that out. So a lot of fun content coming. I have a video coming on American Single Malt coming out, a video on some of like my top like brands that aren't the usual brands that everybody knows and loves, that I'm keeping an eye on and that I've been enjoying lately. So I got a lot of fun content coming out. So I think the Falcons can win the division this year with Brady gone. I think the NFC South is as open as it comes. Who knows what, Carolina, who they're going to get. Carolina has kept it pretty close to the vest as, what quarterback they're going for. So we'll see. Send those bottles my way. Nameless Ruin. What we do in life echoes in eternity. I like that. Smoking Firewater. Quite possibly the hardest bottle to open. Yeah, dude, that thing was crazy. Hey, Big Vic is in the house. So Big Vic, let me know who won the blind. Brian M. Been waiting for this video for a long time. Got 4 bottles just in case it's good. Norseman's Only Dram, Skull Jason, and rest of you heathens. I love it. What's going on, man? Nice to see you here. Donald Rant's in the house. Haven't seen. Oh, Meaty Mugly says tomorrow's actually my birthday. Damn, cheers to you too, Meaty Mugly. Like it. Shauna Marie D says love some Jason picks. Thank you so much, Shauna. Appreciate that. I have to do it because it's been a while, so I got to ring the Blue Run chimes. Thank you guys so much. Cinnabon for days on the nose, says Angela Good. Yeah, it's going to be cinnamony. Eric Farr, I grabbed that Sagamore 8-year batch 2A the other day. The batch 1s has been around for a while, but Jason's tasting the newest one. You want to pick that one up. Yeah, Eric, you're going to love that thing, man. It's freaking delicious. Enjoy it, dude. All right, so let's get into this this 13th Colony Sour Mash. Let me actually bring the bottle back here. So there is a weedy mustiness to it a little bit. Again, this is neck pour, so definitely get a little bit of oak. I get a lot of that wheat grain on it, to be honest. A lot of wheat. It's like a bowl of Wheaties. I do pick up a little bit of that corn, a little bit of that graininess too. Mark Emmenecker, thank you so much, man. Jason, is your bottle the Sour Mash the 9-year 2021 or the 6-7-year? This is the 2021, Jason W. So it's the 9-year. Cheers, Jason. Cedar Ridge picks are delicious. Would love to try the Spaniard, says Mark Emmenecker. Yeah, a little bit of must going on here, but there's enough sweetness there. I think it's kind of balancing it out. If you look at it's got a really nice color to it. It's pretty dark. If you look at the color there, there's the camera doing its job. Looks pretty delicious there. All right, let's give this one a try, guys. That's way better on the palate than the nose. I think the nose was coming off very wheat grain forward, but the palate is definitely making up for it. The palate's very viscous. Something that I've noticed with 13th Colony, their whiskeys are extremely thick and rich, almost to a point where it's almost like decadent. And this comes through with a lot of that richness as well. This has a lot of sweetness to it. It drinks like a wheater. This one is 105 proof, so a little bit above their general releases. Bourbon on the Bayou says, cheers to the night shift. Awesome. EJ's not home, so I will pick up his slack. Cheers, everyone. Thanks, MJ. Not sure what's up, but got the super chat FOMO, says One More Cast. Thanks, guys. So, I mean, I could see why people will really like this. It's balanced. There's nothing, it's a very solid bourbon. I'm getting a little bit of that musty oak on the palate. Not musty oak, but maybe the musty wheat. A little bit of that wheatiness on the palate as well. And there's another note here with 13 Colony that I feel like I get on everything they've tasted, and that is like a really rich brown sugar note. I feel like their stuff out of Georgia has just like this extra level of sweetness, and I think it's just brown sugar. It has like this caramel apple brown sugar thing going on this thing, which is really nice. It's got a good spice to it. Comes off like a wheater. I really do get the wheated bourbon like characteristics of this. If it's like I'm pretty sure this is a wheated bourbon from Wyoming, and that's what it's coming off as. Can you see the juice? How it's non-chill filtered? Mine, you could see it just a tad. I mean, yeah, all their stuff is pretty non-chill filtered, but yeah, this stuff is always just really dark and viscous. I mean, yeah, distilled in Wyoming, bottled by 13 Colony Distillers in Americus, Georgia. Love Americus. Middle West Oloroso wheat whiskey. Do you like it, Justin Hall? I like it more and more now, Justin. I wasn't crazy about it. I felt like it needed more time. But as their releases are getting older, I think it's just getting better and better. I really think wheated bourbon, wheat whiskey, it needs time to age. I don't think you can release I'm just not like a fan of like a 3 or 4 year old, wheat whiskey or wheated bourbon. I feel like wheated bourbon needs time. This is good. I don't think I like it better than the bourbon, though. I mean, maybe I just need some time to let it open up, but I feel like that level of sweetness is there, but it's got a real heavy, weedy profile to me, at least from my palate. But yeah, it's very thick and rich. It's dark. I mean, it's good. It's a solid bourbon. I wouldn't go crazy like paying a lot of money for this because I know that this is this was kind of a one-time release and now it's all gone. And people were like backing this up. Leo says, "Are you not entertained?" Says James Lay. Bulldogs never look like they're entertained. That's what I love about bulldogs. Yeah, it's good. It's definitely not the 13th Colony Double Oaked. I'll tell you that. That thing is a beast of a whiskey. So yeah, that thing's a monster. Let's go streaking. Picked up some 13th Colony Southern whiskey, which I believe is their corn whiskey. How many open bottles do you have? If you had to guess, are there any concerns on leaving them open too long? Yeah, Zach, I easily have at least, probably, I would say more than half my collection is open. I mean, I'm doing reviews and sharing all the time. So out of the, 1,200, 1,300 bottles I have, I would say, easily more than half are open. So, yep. And ask anybody who knows me, they'll tell you that, I share all the time. And, that's really, I say it all the time. I preach about it. It's the point of whiskey, sharing, opening, giving people a chance to try stuff they never maybe had before or never get a chance to try. That's why I can't stand guys that just buy whiskey and put it on their shelf and just to look at it. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, do you even drink whiskey or just like to look at the bottles? All right, so I'm going to get this one here ready here, which is the Bardstown Foursquare, which a lot of people are getting real jacked up for this one. Jason, thank you for answering about my 13th Colony. In all seriousness, I really think the Mets have a great shot this year at finishing their second tops. Go Braves. You had me for a second, Travis. Show kicks, join late. Show the kicks again. All right, last time I'll show them. I'm wearing the Jordan 11 7210s tonight. So if you actually see that leather on the front, it's almost got like an iridescent thing to it. The bottoms are the favorite. It's got this little speck of like red and black carbon fiber there in the heel, which I love that about the shoe. It's just a cool little detail. Braves up, Mets fifth. Oh, geez. Oh, Jason, have you tried the Redline Elements Amburana finish? I tried one of their early Amburanas, which I wasn't a fan of, but I can't say I've tried the Elements. So how is that one, Brandon? Any good? I don't like a ton of Amburana finish. We released a pick that I think it was a second fill, and it had a lot of Amburana finish to me. So Joseph Brazzers, it's all about the whiskey, not the people you share with. That's right, Joseph. That's right. Nice to see you, Joseph, man. How you been? Go Mariners. Jay Henry is releasing a rye this summer. Super stoked. How much is that Bardstown? We're going to get into all that in a second. Let me get this poured here. You know what? I want to pour this in one of these glasses here. So I feel like this one gives you a little bit more of a better nose on it. So I will give you all the details for this one. But first, let's go through some news stories as well as what to see on the TTB. All right, guys. So what we're going to do is go through a couple of new labels that popped up on the whiskey sphere, as I call it. Great. If you guys don't follow, it's a great Instagram channel called Coming Whiskey. I'm on there all the time looking at different labels, different new submissions being put through from the TTB. So let's go into a couple. Oh wait, first let me go into this. Toshi Bake Evening Cheers. Interesting thoughts on the HH20. Been debating buying it for probably more than makes sense, but I've been on the fence. Your review may sway me. Hey, that's the point, man. If you agree with my palate, if you usually line up with my palate, we'll see how I feel about that one. I have never tasted this or even smelled it yet, so it'll be exciting. Does no thanks. Not sure for value paid, but like it so far. Okay, cool. So first one up as far as labels go. Speaking of Bardstown, they just announced their Discovery Series. Now, if you guys remember, they're doing a series. The next one is series number 10. It's 114.24 proof. And here is the breakdown. You have 62% Kentucky. You have 18% Kentucky, 10% Georgia, which is an 80 corn, 10 rye. It's a 4-grain. You have 8% 6-year Kentucky. 53, 26, 21, just a crazy little mash bill there. And you have 2% Tennessee 10-year of the Tennessee whiskey. So that's going to be the next Bardstown Bourbon Company Discovery Series. Usually these are retailing for about $130-ish as we go. This is a little bit more expensive for this bottle, but like I said, we'll get into that. So that'll be the next Discovery Series. That'll be coming out. I believe they're releasing 2 now a year. I think we'll have a spring one and a fall one, so we'll see how that goes. A couple of cool, exciting releases I saw drop from Starlight. So Starlight out of Indiana. It looks like they're going to be coming out with a single malt American whiskey. So an American single malt being distilled over at Starlight. And again, we're just in the beginning of this, guys. Now, I'm talking about big distillers, names, Beam, Heaven Hill, Wild Turkey, who knows? I think the sky's the limit. I think you're going to start seeing some of these bigger brands coming out with an American single malt. I think Beam already has one. We've already seen it being utilized in some aspects of some of the whiskeys that they've made. I think Little Book, there was some single malt in one of those releases, I think. I'm trying to remember. But you're going to see more American single malt coming out because why? It's about to get a designation from it's about to get an official government designation for what American single malt is. And on top of that, I think it's kind of the next big thing for people to experiment with. The rules are a little bit looser than bourbon. You could experiment more with American single malt. So we'll see what happens. It's kind of cool to see Starlight coming out with their own. Starlight also has this series, the Old Rickhouse Toasted Series, with a double oaked rye whiskey finished in a second oak barrel. Double oaked ryes, toasted ryes, I think work a lot better than bourbons. That's my opinion. So I'm really excited to try one of those or maybe even get a pick at some point this year. So we'll see what happens. And lastly, we have Woodford Reserve. Looks like they're going to be releasing a 100 proof bottled in bond wheat whiskey. Now, these are these 375 milliliter bottles that are normally just distillery only releases. I think if they do hit stores, they really only stay in Kentucky. So you'll see some of that, I guess, coming out at some point. I'm a huge fan of the wheat whiskey, but the regular wheat whiskey, it's probably one of the most fruit forward wheat whiskeys I've ever tasted, the one from Woodford Reserve. So trying one at a higher proof instead of the usual 90.4 to try one at 100 might be kind of cool. So I might try to get my hands on one of those just to try it. So let's get some of your reactions here. Let's see. 2%. We got to get rid of this Tennessee shit. Yeah, they're just putting a little bit at a time in the Bardstown releases. Bardstown has a nice product, but God bless, the prices are through the roof. Yeah, the prices are. This one is no exception too. I was at Beam doing a pick, and there was a ton of single malt and barrels aging. Yeah, I'm telling you, Travis, the American single malt is coming. I mean, Yellowstone already released their American single malt, so Beam can't be too far behind. Swan, Town Branch, James E. Pepper, Starlight. Let's make a flight of American single malt. I like that idea, Swan. Like I said, I have a whole video of American single malt coming out, so it'll be cool to kind of go through some of those when those release. Wonder if the Georgia is Fiddler. Aren't they 4-grain? I believe so. But I think the first time they used the Georgia whiskey, it was a distillery that is now defunct. It's not active anymore. So I don't know if they're using ASW or if it's from that defunct distillery that they still had whiskey left over with. Memphis, the only major city in America, 3 states fought to not have. Tennessee lost. A lot of companies going to start jumping on bandwagon. It's a good thing. It's going to get better. I totally agree, Mamuka. I think it's only going to get better. The new Yellowstone single malt is really good. Caleb Pitts managed to find Starlight Double Oaked Rye in Orlando the other day. Looking forward to cracking it. Oh, awesome, Caleb. The Georgia is Ivy Mountain. Exactly. So Ivy Mountain is the distillery that the Georgia stuff is being sourced from, Bardstown, and it's actually not an active distillery anymore, from my understanding. New Riff has at least 6 different single malt resting in the ricks right now, likely different maturation. Yeah, and like I said, I think American single malt has a little bit of a looser type of restrictions on it. But I mean, let's be honest. Even bourbon has gotten a lot looser with what you could do with it, and still call it bourbon. I feel like the restrictions on bourbon has gotten a lot looser over the last several years. People finishing it, even people adding shit to it, and still somehow being able to call it bourbon. I mean, I don't know if that's TTB just being like, well, whatever, we'll make some money off of it, who cares? Or if it's an actual, just nobody cares anymore. It's interesting. Like, some people I still feel like are on the fence that this is blasphemy. This should not happen. I still know a couple of guys that think a finished bourbon should not be able to be called a bourbon. So a bourbon like this Foursquare rum, it says, blend of straight whiskeys finished in Foursquare rum barrels. This doesn't say, this actually doesn't say bourbon on it, but you know what I'm talking about. Like, any bourbon that's finished in another cask, a port wine, a sherry, whatever it is, saying like it can't be bourbon anymore. I still know a couple of guys that think that way. Assuming single malts have some Scotch flavors like that Band-Aid Scotch has. Well, no, C. Keller, and I think that's kind of the miscommunication. Bourbon Bill's here. I'm not here for the single malts. I'll stick with bourbon and rye. ASW doesn't have anything 9 years old, and if they did, they would not sell it to BBC. Yep. I really want to know how much Foursquare influence this one got. One of my favorite rums. They're delicious, but most probably have no additives. I totally agree with you, Mamuka. Yeah, this is a combo. Well, we'll get into this a little bit, but I do want to get through some of the other news stories here. First one is Booker's. The first batch of Booker's has been unveiled. This is the Charlie's batch. So this was named after Charlie Hutchins, who crafts the wooden boxes that each Booker's bottle is housed in, which I think is kind of cool. So Charlie Hutchins, who actually makes all those little Booker's boxes that everybody knows and loves and takes up a ton of space on our whiskey shelves. This batch is named after him. So let's see here. Hutchins worked at the distillery and Booker No as master distiller and is a friend of the No family. He ended up leaving the company to open a cabinet shop with his brother, but he still crafts the Booker's boxes. It looks like I can't see the age on here. I can't find any of the age stuff, but hopefully they're sticking with some of that 7-year stuff. Hopefully they didn't get back down to the 6-year stuff. So if you guys are Booker's fans, there you go. Something that somebody brought up in the chat earlier was this collection, the Bardstown collection. And this I wanted to talk about. I've been seeing some of these bottles around. People have been talking about them. I've seen a few on secondary already. People are kind of, getting excited about these. And so here's the breakdown of them. You see 6 bottles there. So 6 prominent whiskey distilleries in Bardstown teamed up to launch this Bardstown collection. It celebrates Bardstown reputation as the burpin. Burping, yeah. I mean, you burp in the bourbon capital of the world after you drink all the bourbon. The bourbon capital of the world. So you use Heaven Hill, Log Still, Jim Beam, Lux Row, Bardstown Bourbon Company, and Preservation Distillery. Each selected 3 barrels to contribute to this year's collection. It's the distilleries either blended or released them in single barrel formats. The collection will be released in waves over the course of Thursday and Friday. So that was Thursday, April 13th, and also Friday, April 14th. Let me see here. I don't see. Let's see. What are the prices on these? Any pricing on here? Let's see here. I can't see any pricing on this. I don't know. Anybody in the chat know how much these bottles are going for? I'm curious. I would imagine some of these are pricey, or do you have to like buy a ticket to get one of these? It looks like you have to buy a ticket to an event to get an actual chance to buy one of these. So, but I mean, you have all the Bardstown, names and the distillers in there. Damn, one guy making 100,000 boxes a year. Is it $200 a piece for one of those? If that's it, then holy crap, that's crazy. $200? Yeah, no thanks. $200 for those? Come on. They released at Heaven Hill last week. Probably 200. Yeah, 200. Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't know if I'm in on that for 200. I would have to know exactly what's in that bottle. But all right, let's get to the next one, guys. And this has to do with Chicken Cock, who are releasing their first double oaked product. This I think was an older story. I'm not sure, but this popped up a little bit a while back, and it's basically Chicken Cock talking about their first double oak product. Their tagline was, "You can't have great whiskey without great wood." That's a little on the nose, Chicken Cock. I'm just going to say that now. This is bottled at 92 proof. Refers to the process of moving whiskey from one oak barrel to another after its designated period of maturation. It spent 18 months on the top floor of a Bardstown Bourbon Company rickhouse during a hot summer. $100 for this bottle, which is actually a good price for Chicken Cock. Chicken Cock stuff is usually like any special release is like $200, $250. Chicken Cock released that was like that Cotton Club release for like $500. You crazy? Yeah, no, can't do it. But if you guys like double oak products, I'm just gonna say right now that's probably a try before you buy. Chicken Cock makes some decent stuff. I just think the prices of it are just outlandish. I think it sucks. I think the prices are a little bit crazy. And last but not least, guys, Wild Turkey. There's my beloved Wild Turkey 101. It's an older photo, but Wild Turkey has announced that they are going to be spending $161 million to build a brand new distillery at Wild Turkey. Holy shit. This investment by Campari Group adds to the historic momentum the Commonwealth is currently experiencing in our signature bourbon and spirits industry. Over $2.1 billion in new investments and approximately 700 new jobs for Kentuckians. The new distillery is projected to produce 5 million proof gallons of Wild Turkey whiskey per year. A proof gallon is 1 liquid gallon of 100 proof spirit at 60 degrees Fahrenheit. This will boost Wild Turkey's annual capacity to 14 million proof gallons. Once completed, the new distillery will create 31 jobs. Campari acquired Wild Turkey for $575 million back in 2009. In October, Campari made another move, purchasing a majority stake in Wilderness Trail, valued at $600 million. So it looks like my beloved Wild Turkey is going to be getting bigger and better. And we'll see what happens with that. There was no real timeline on that, but I mean, I'm excited. We'll see what happens. I can't wait to see like the renderings for that, what that distillery is going to look like. I hope they don't make it too modern. I would like it to be kind of like an old school feel with a modern twist. Like if I was designing the new Wild Turkey distillery, that's how I would want it to be. Like, don't make it all super modern and sleek. That's not what Wild Turkey is. You have to give it a modern twist on a traditional historical look and feel to it. So I hope that's what they do, but we'll see what happens. Unless it's just going to be a giant turkey building that you walk in. All right, guys. So let's get into this bottle. I know a lot of people are asking about this bottle. No, not that one. It's this one. The Bardstown Bourbon Company Foursquare blended whiskey. Like Bardstown Bourbon Company, Foursquare is defined by innovation and transparency throughout their production process. This is a custom blend of 7-year rye whiskey and 17-year bourbon, designed to beautifully accentuate Barbados flavor, aged for 23 months in Foursquare rum barrels. That is almost 2 years. So that is a that's quite a hefty maturing process out of the Foursquare barrel. Let me give you guys a little bit of a close up of the bottle here. Man, I already got that dirty. That's gross. Not a neat pour, apparently. So let me bring this up to the camera here, guys. There you go. The label's beautiful. I mean, you have Bardstown, and then the collaborative series and Foursquare is in like this dark copper metallic print that just looks incredible. Now, for those of you guys that don't know Foursquare, Foursquare is one of the premier names in rum. They are using column still, pot still. Usually you find these now what makes Foursquare so great is there's no like added sugar. You know, if you talk about like Captain Morgan rum and some of those, they're obviously adding a shit ton of sugar to it to, you know, make the sweetness even more. Foursquare is all natural. It's all sugarcane. It is all natural, nothing added. They'll finish it in port wine. They'll finish it in sherry. They do a combination. They do different types of finishing barrels on these rums and age them for an extreme amount of time. It is the ultimate sipping rum. This is not a rum that you mix. It's not a rum that you use in cocktails. This is a rum you pour in a glass just like a bourbon and enjoy it slowly over a nice fire, a nice cigar. Foursquare is unbelievably just positively looked upon as one of the premier rums that you can buy in today's market. So Bardstown, they were talking about this one for a while. So let's get into the nose here and break this one down here, guys. Paul P says, have you had a chance to try the new Hemingway rye? Not yet, Paul P. Have not yet. All right. Let's get into this one here. So the first time I opened it, now I did crack this, like I said, last night. And immediately on the nose, the first thing I got was citrus and nuttiness. It literally smelled like wild turkey to me. I was like, what the hell's going on in this? And then I'm thinking nuttiness, citrus. I'm like, oh man, is that 10% George Dickel coming through and kind of, you know, overwhelming the finish? I really hope that's not the case. So this is kind of my second pour of this. All these finished bourbons to me always need a little time, so we'll see. All hail, new king on the rise, pun intended, says King Sagamore. Foursquare is the perfect gateway into rum for a bourbon drinker. The noses on the Foursquares are exceptional. I totally agree, Jeff. I think if you want to get into a rum and you're a hardcore bourbon drinker, Foursquare is the way to go. All right, so let's go to the nose here and see if I still get any of those things I was getting last night. So real quick, mash bills is a 45% corn, 51% rye, 4% malted barley. That is a 7-year MGP rye. The low rye, not a 95.5. This is a 51% rye. And then that 17-year Tennessee George Pickle whiskey. Let's see here. I still get a lot of citrus on the nose here, guys. It's still coming through. I'm starting to get more rum on the nose. I'm getting the maple syrup. I'm still getting that nuttiness, though. It's not the mineral note you get with Dickel, but there is a nuttiness to it still. It's a lot of orange, a little bit of maple syrup, maybe a slight hint of coconut, but not much. So far on the nose, for the second pour, I don't know. I feel like I want more of the Foursquare to come out. I'm not getting a lot of it. 107 proof, good proof point. But the price on this, guys, you're looking at about $180 for this bottle. Yeah, $180. Let me make sure I have that right. I'm pretty sure it's $180. Yeah, here we go. I'm sorry, $160. 160, not 180. My bad. It is 160 bucks, which is still pricey. You know, I know Danny over at Bardstown Bourbon Company. I know this was kind of a dream finish for him. So let's give this one a try. So being a rye, even that low rye, it's spicy. It is fruity. I'm kind of like, I want more of the Foursquare rum in this. I'm just not getting that, like that punch of flavor that Foursquare brings. I'm not really getting that. I'm getting a lot of the rye spice. I'm getting still some of that nuttiness. It's very citrusy. I think the one piece of the puzzle that I'm getting here for the Foursquare rum is I'm getting like a maple syrup note. But other than that, there's not like I want more of a punch of the Foursquare here. This is like the time where I want to taste the finish because it's Foursquare. All right, third sip. Oh, third sip. I don't know. I think this is going to be one of those ever evolving bottles. This might even get more rum forward as it opens up. That third sip I just took, I'm getting it more on the back end than the front. The front is that rye. I'm getting a lot of that rye spice. I mean, I'm talking like clove. I'm talking the I'm still getting like that roasted almond note. It was like an almond clove combination in the front with that spice and that citrus. And then from the back to the from the mid to the back palate, that's when it starts getting a little bit more of the sweet flavors. So as far as the balance goes for this, it's good, but you know, is more of that Foursquare going to come out? All right, I'm starting to taste the Foursquare more and more here. But this is not a punch you in the face type of experience. This, I feel like the Foursquare is there. It's a little bit more delicate. It's not extreme on the palate at all either. Yeah, it's like this maple syrup, like fruit. What is that fruit that I'm getting? There's like a not a dark fruit note. It's more of a bright fruit note that I'm getting here. Maybe it's like a pear or an apple, but it's like maple syrup and cinnamon all kind of coming together. Good spice to it. Yeah, the Foursquare is starting to come out more, but you don't really get it until like mid to back palate. All the front of it to me is all rye spice. Now it's 160 bucks. I think with the Foursquare name on it, people are gonna probably, if you know what Foursquare is, people are gonna gobble this bottle up. Um, they're gonna grab this one even at the $160 price point. But if you're on a budget and you're not sure, if you're a big fan of Foursquare, you're not really sure what to make of it yet, this would probably, off the second pour, this would probably still land in like a try before you buy for me. It's nothing that I'm like blown away by, but there are flavors in here that people fans of Foursquare I think will like. Um, but I don't know. I'm curious, you know, if any of you guys get this bottle, you know, are you gonna feel more? Are you gonna taste more of the Foursquare influence than I'm tasting? Because I get it, but I'm just not getting a lot of it. Jason, thanks for being one of the few YouTubers that realizes some of these prices are crazy. That's exactly how it described to my friends. You start with a little bit of bourbon, mid part of a scotch, and finish like a rum. Um, what are your thoughts on Bardstown Origin Series Bottle and Bond Wheat? I think Black Label. I love that bottle, Mac. I think the wheated in the Origin Series, it still might be my favorite. I think the rye is second and the regular bourbon is third. But I think that wheated bourbon has a chance to be one of the best, weeded bourbons available. I think you could put it right up there with Weller, to be honest. Holy crap, Alan P in the house. What is going on? Terrence McDermott, should I buy some high-aged Dickel and blend it with AURI, get 2 bottles for the price of their one? Do not to do that, Terrence, because I don't think it'll be this good. It's good. Is it blowing me away? No. I understand why the price point is what it is for this one at $160. I will do a full review on this one because I really do feel like these Bardstown Collab bottles always get better with a little bit of airtime. So I will do a full review on this. Maybe I will release it Friday if I have time to film it when before the the day of the release. But yeah, I think the tasting notes are kind of right in line with what I expected. But I think the best part of this is the spice and the finish to it to balance out the sweet. But I'm not getting this huge punch of Foursquare, which I think I wanted in this. I'm just not getting a lot of it. And that's surprising. That's surprising for almost a 2-year finish. That it's just not like completely punching me in the face. Yeah, I mean, it's solid. $160 though for this. Oh man. Again, I know why it's 160 with those collab barrels. Foursquare is not cheap. But I don't know. I don't know if I need it to be a higher proof or I want it to. I don't know what it is. There's just something about it that's missing to me. I don't know. I just feel like I hear like Bardstown Bourbon Company and then I hear Foursquare and I am just like waiting for a flavor bomb. And while there are some really good flavors in here, I just feel like there's something. It's somewhat muted to me. But I love the sweetness. I do like the spice of it. It has great balance. But to me, it's missing like a slight level of like a punch of flavor to me. I mean, it's 107 proof. It's not going to drink like a proof monster either. But the more you sip it, I really do believe the more rum it gets, the more rum quality it gets. So I think that rum is just a matter of time for it coming out more and more as this opens up. I'm telling you guys, if any of you guys get this bottle, the first pours you're going to be like, what the hell? This tastes like a rye whiskey. But just give it some time, and those Foursquare and those sweet notes will start coming out and like developing as you taste it. That's the most honest like description I could give you because that's exactly what's happening to me. My first pour, I literally thought it was like a wild turkey like rye. It was orange and it was spice, and I'm like, where is the rum? But now the more I'm sipping this as it's opening up, more of the rum qualities are coming through. Do I want more of it? Yes. It's a little bit lighter than I would like, but I think there's going to be a lot of people that really like this. But for like hardcore whiskey and bourbon drinkers that like the higher proof stuff, this might be lacking a little bit something. So for all of you that love Foursquare rum, you're probably going to buy this anyway. But for anybody that's on a budget, doesn't really want to pay the $160, but it's on the fence, I would probably try this before you buy it. Get a pour from a friend or get a sample before you're in on buying this bottle. So that's my review for now. We'll see if it changes when I do the full review. All right. It seems the higher the rye, the punchier the rum finish. I figured the Bardstown would do it. It's got a lot of good spice to it, Sir Cuts. It really does. For 165, that's the question. Brian Schuber, I think I'll stay with my Baker 7, really 9-year, really enjoying it. That's a great underrated bottle, Brian. All right, last sip of that one. Yeah, it's like, where's the rum? Like, I want more of the rum. That I really do. I want more of the Foursquare. Yeah. I mean, it's a really good collaboration, but I don't know. I'm going to have to revisit that with a fresh palate. To quote Captain Jack Sparrow, where's the rum? How are the 2 Fry Ranch bottles? Ohio just started stocking. 2 Fry Ranch. Martel says I'll be over to get a sample. ADHD whiskey. Why is the rum gone? Yeah, I don't know where it went, Maddie. I'd be curious to get Matt's take on it too, because normally I align with Matt, and I would be interested to see what he thinks about it, if he gets more of the rum on it than I do. I feel like as it opens up, you get more of the rum, as I just said. But in the beginning, it was coming off like a wild turkey to me. It was like nutty, it was orangey, it was spicy. It came off very much rye to me. I'm like, where the hell's the rum finish on this? But now I'm starting to get it. Even though it's light, it's starting to come through. ADHD says video drops tomorrow. Oh, okay. So Matt's is going to drop. That means mine might drop right with you, Maddie. I'll wait till maybe Friday, though. But I'm curious to see what you thought of it, man. All right. I mean, I think it's good, but I think for me, for 160, that's more of a try before you buy. It's not that immediate, like, jacked up punch of flavor that I want. All right. Before we get Kenneth Rathburn, I know he jumped in the chat. I'm going to do your blind tonight, Kenneth. I have your key here. Your blind is kind of teed up. Wow, it's already 10 o'clock. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try the Heaven Hill 20 right now, and then we'll get into the blind tasting. I'll kind of go through because I have to get my Matt Madness. Speaking of Matt, I have to get my Matt Madness palette back. It's been a little while. I kind of took a little bit of a break, so I want to get into some of these, some more of these blind tastings to see how I do. So Heaven Hill 20, again, not my bottle, but essentially Heaven Hill 20 year is mellow corn. Now, when you talk about mellow corn or this Heaven Hill 20 year, this is the 115 proof. It's 20-year-old corn whiskey. You're looking at a price, a retail price of $290. They generally go for more money than that. Now, it's interesting when you look at the mash bills between, mellow corn and just regular Heaven Hill bourbon. You're looking at 78 corn, 10% rye, and 12% malted barley. Mellow corn just shifts to 80% corn, 8% rye, and 12% malted barley. So you're only taking away 2% of the rye, adding it to the corn mash bill. But what makes it different is that you're aging it in used casks rather than new casks. That's why it can't be called a bourbon. That's why it's labeled as a corn whiskey. So for anybody that didn't know that, that's the deal. So, let me, let's see here. The Master Drum, don't look at the clock. Just enjoy the whiskey, my friend. I know. I just I don't want to, take everyone's too much time. I have a good time with you guys, though. So, all right, let's pour this. First pour. Oh, baby. Now, you would think off the bat a 20-year-old whiskey is going to be pretty dark, but this is not. It's actually pretty light. 20-year-old whiskey. Look at that. Here you go. Okay. 20 years, small batch. So obviously this is a mix of barrels, 115 proof. 80 corn, 8% rye, 12% malted barley, and released in 2022. All right. I've been eagerly anticipating trying this for the first time. How does this differ from the high age Obtainium Canadian corn whiskeys? So the Canadian corn whiskeys is actually light whiskey, which is different. The light whiskeys those get up to like 98% corn in those, and they're distilled to a higher proof off the still. They're coming off above the 160 limit that you get with bourbon. Those are also going in used barrels, but the distillation and the way they age light whiskey just coming off the still is actually already disqualifies it from being called a bourbon. That's why it's a light whiskey or Canadian light whiskey. So put that in. Jeffrey Wack, Jason, which of these old Heaven Hill releases have you had? I know you had the 17 last year. The 17, I had a pour of the 23. I like the 17 better than the 23, but this is the first time I'm having the 20. So, all right. So let me get into this one. Real quick, guys, as a reminder, any super chat tonight gets you a chance to win One of my Dancing Goat 8-year corn whiskey, finished in Spanish oak, the Spaniard. One of my barrel picks that people absolutely love. I just got way too many backups, and I'm like, I'm gonna give one of these away. I'm also gonna be giving away some of my Cedar Ridge picks, a couple Rebel picks as well. So any super chat will get you in the giveaway tonight to win any of those bottles. So thank you so much. Okay. Oh yeah, 27. I'm sorry, Toshi Bake. 27. When I say 23, so I got Jordan on my mind. 27. That's what I meant. The 27 year. That's the one that I tried. I thought it was way too. It was just too oaky for me. I don't mind oak, but that was just. It was a bit much. It was very drying on the palate. Had good flavor for a 27-year-old whiskey, but it was just too drying on the palate. I just did not dig it. So, all right. So let me go to let me pull up the chat so I don't miss anything. And okay, let's go with here. Here we go. Okay, that's different. Man, that is sweet. Oh man. There's almost like this is going to be very specific, but I do this. I don't know if anybody does this. If nobody has ever done this, you should do this. Take some slices of cornbread and then throw it in a toaster, and then put it in the toaster, and then put those slices down in the cornbread, and like just get like a dark toast on it, and that's what this smells like. Like or those, like, remember those Entenmann's toaster cakes that they had the corn one? That's what this reminds me of. Entenmann, is that a New York thing? Entenmann's? It's bringing me back to my New York roots. Yeah, there's something about this that's like bringing me back to that. All right. Definitely getting oak here. The oak is definitely prevalent for, even though it's a used barrels, 20 years, you definitely get the oak. It's almost a little bit of like a musty oak. There's kind of like a musty oak funk here. Very similar to what I was getting in the Sour Mash, but not as funky. This has more of a little bit of a mustiness with a little bit more of a sweet, like that sweet, like charred cornbread like type note. Man, you know what I'm getting on this? It smells like ginger ale. Like Canada Dry ginger ale. And maybe I'm thinking Canada because somebody brought up Canada earlier for the light whiskey. So I'm already thinking of like Canada Dry ginger ale. It's got like a ginger ale note to it. A little bit of honey, like a honey ginger ale type thing going on. Sorry, guys. This is just opening up. It keeps kind of enveloping here. So excuse me for kind of taking my time here. Jason, thoughts on the Scherzer rejection? I wasn't able to watch the game, Mero 40K, so I don't know. I have to watch and see what happened. Yeah, don't forget to put the hot honey on your cornbread. Don't forget. What kind of glass is that? And do you prefer it over the Glencairn? If so, why? Yeah, John Cloud, this is called a stem tulip glass or a copita glass. There's different variances of this. I don't know what it is about this glass. It just, I get a better nose off of this glass. I think that Glencairn is fine, but for some reason I get a better nose off these, and I don't know why, but that's just me. Yeah, there's like this ginger, like this chocolate ginger, like chocolate coated like ginger candies almost on this. I love ginger, so I actually eat those. That's why it's like so prevalent to me. There is like a fruit note in here. It's not like I don't think it's really a dark fruit. It's more of a brighter fruit. Again, maybe going back to like a really ripe, like apple, overripe pear, maybe. It's got a nice balance to it. I'm actually digging the nose. It's different. It's not you know, obviously caramels and vanillas are there. I feel like you're always going to get that, but I'm trying to pick out like some of the other flavors in here. But let's see what it does on the palate. Here we go, guys. Cheers. Entenmann's, no, they have a display case at the end of the aisle. Yes, that's right. I love Entenmann's. The Entenmann's Raspberry Danish and the small little tiny cookies are the best two things Entenmann's makes. If anyone disagrees, I'll fight you. Those are the two best things Entenmann's makes. The little tiny chocolate chip cookies, the little ones, you just pop it like candy, and the Raspberry Danish. Best two things Entenmann's makes. Hands down. Your review on this will determine if I open my AJ20 this weekend. All right, so let's talk about the palate here because there's a lot going on. More oak and spice, way more than I thought I was going to get based that it's a corn whiskey. A lot of oak and spice comes through in the very beginning. Let's look at the chat here. This is actually, I thought this was going to come off a lot sweeter than it is, but I'm getting some like things that I would get in like a really high aged bourbon. I'm getting molasses. I'm getting like a little bit of like a leather or like an aged leather, a little bit of mustiness to it. And maybe it's because of all that corn content, you know, being in the barrel for 20 years. I really thought this was going to be sweeter, but it's not. This is actually coming off like an aged whiskey. Like I really thought this was going to come off a lot sweeter. Let me go for another sip here. I did not expect that at all. This is cinnamon, spice, leather, oak, a little bit of like a sweet tobacco in here too. This is the complete opposite of what my brain was thinking this was going to taste like. There's a lot of wood influence in this, more than I thought there would be, at least coming off the first pour. So if anyone out here is thinking that their Heaven Hill 20 year is going to be this like sweet candy flavor bomb, that is not what this is. There's an oak tannin to it, especially in the back end. It's a little bit drying, but there is some dark sweet flavors here. But it's just not the level of sweetness I thought I was going to get from a corn whiskey. That's the difference. I don't know if that's like a good thing or a bad thing. Like sipping on the MG ECB pick, so good. Oh damn, that's old school, John T. Man, interesting. Are you really, Jeff? I don't know. I hear 20-year corn whiskey, and I'm thinking used barrels now, not new barrels. I'm thinking it's going to be more sweet than not, and this isn't nearly as sweet as I thought it was going to be. If I had to like vote one way or the other, I think I like that. I don't think I want it to completely taste like cornbread in the toaster. I think I want it to be a little bit more aged, especially with that 20-year, age statement on it. I am also surprised by the amount of spice I'm getting on this as well. You hear that high corn content. You're not only 8% rye in the mash bill. You're not really thinking you're going to get any spice here, but I think it's really imparted a lot of oak tannins here. The one sweet note that I keep getting, there are two of them, molasses and sweet tobacco on the palate, but it's got a lot of spice to it. This is really nice, actually. Do I like this better than the Heaven Hill 17 year? No. That 17 year is a special bottle. Last year's Heritage Collection. However, If I had a chance to buy this at retail for a 20-year product for 200 some odd dollars, I'd probably buy it, because I don't think I've ever had a corn whiskey with this much developed flavor in it. Usually it kind of tastes like this. You have the straight corn whiskey with a lot of cornbread and, you know, a lot of sweets. This kind of takes that and throws it out the window. Thank you so much for the super chats, guys. Yes, please hit the like button while you're here. Yeah, and I think that ginger is totally on the palate too. There's like a spicy ginger note. The more you sip this, I think it gets a little bit sweeter, but that oak is still there. The spice is still there. It's definitely not as impressionable, like I said, as that 17-year, but the 17-year bourbon. But I think for the most part, people will really like this, just because it's such a different take on a corn whiskey being at this 20-year high age. I would not buy this for secondary prices. If you see this in a store for like, you know, $700, $800, it's not worth that. It is not worth that by any means. If you get it at retail, though, and you're interested in trying a 20-year corn whiskey, I think it hits the mark. I do like this. It's different. It's got all the sweetness up front. The nose is great. I like the fact that it's coming off more of an older whiskey, not just an overly sweet corn whiskey. And I think that's what my mind was thinking about going into it. But now as it's opening up and just really hitting the mark for me, it's pretty damn delicious. Even for something this light, it's got a lot of deep, rich flavors to it. So the cost on this is 200 and what do we say? 200 and let me pull up $290 is MSRP. So this is almost a $300 bottle. I don't know. This gets me thinking, like, what are they going to do next? Like, what could they do next? Like a super high age version of like Larceny, like a barrel proof wheated bourbon with like a 17, 18, 19-year-old age statement. I mean, you kind of get that with Old Fitz, but Old Fitz isn't barrel proof. Like, I would love to taste like a Larceny barrel proof at cask strength with a super high age statement that's been aged like really high up in the rick house, just like these really rich, almost kind of like a Jack Daniels, like a Coy Hill type version of a Larceny, where it's being aged like in the highest parts of the rick houses, like super high heats, a lot of angel share. This like I want to taste like Larceny high age extract coming out of the barrel. I think that should be the next one. I'd love to know how that HH20 compares to the 21-year release from Dancing Goat. Oh, that's a good call out. Did you manage to get the new Riff Silver Grove? It's a fantastic value for barrel proof bourbon at only $55. No, I missed that one, unfortunately. How does it compare to other $300 bottles? That's the thing. I don't think this bottle is worth $290 though. That's the thing. You got to think though. You got the high age statement. You got the box, the bottle, the heritage. 20 years in a barrel. That's a lot of taxes they have to pay for this damn thing. So it all kind of intertwines. I don't think it's a $300 bottle. But I tell you what, that ginger, now it's getting a little bit of citrus like type notes on it. A little bit of molasses, a little bit of like a chocolate, just kind of like a chocolate fudge, just kind of like reared its head in there. Man, this thing is, I would feel better about this at like 200, not so much 290, but them's the breaks. You're not going to see this at 200 unless it goes on sale at some point, but these won't go on sale because people are going to gobble these up. I'll say this though, I wouldn't pay secondary for this, but for a $290 bottle, I think the 17-year bourbon is way better than this, and it was cheaper, like MSRP. So while this is good, and I think it's very unique and very delicious. And I think it's unique. I don't know. I'll say this is great, but not exceptional like that 17-year was last year. So, and the fact that this is more expensive than the 17-year last year, you know, it's kind of disappointing. But at the same time, people are going to buy this up. I mean, the nose is getting fruitier. It's opening up. Who knows what this could become in you know, a few days. I'll do a full review on this before I send it back to the person that sent it to me, so you guys will get my full impressions here. The box goes in the trash, says Kevin B. I struggled to drop that on a Four Roses LE, and that's my current dream bottle. Henry Turner says 15-year-old Pikesville Rye or Pikesville Rye barrel proof. Oh, Henry Turner, that would be a great heritage collection too. Like a 15 to 20-year cast strength Pikesville Rye in this bottle. Hell yeah. This bottle where the so here's the difference. A 17-year bourbon came off more like a like a real release that I think people would really dive into. This comes off more like a novelty a little bit because it's the mellow corn whiskey mash bill with a super high age on it. But you have to pay $290 to taste it. So for this thing, I would say if you have a chance to get it, I think anyone that tastes it is going to like it. It's just going to be a matter of if you want to pay the $290 for it. But I would not pay over $290 to get it. So that's my general review off of first impressions. But if you have this and you start and you pour it and you already own it and you're thinking about opening it, you're going to like it. It's good. It's a really good whiskey. All right. I'm really surprised at how much oak influence and spice there is on a corn whiskey. It's blowing my mind. All right. It is blind tasting time. I have to try to reprogram my brain because I just tried that whiskey. So Kenneth Rathburn, who's in the chat, HH17 was Little Book 3, HH20 is Little Book 2. So Bubble Bath Bourbon, it's used barrels in the for the mellow corn. They did it's a 20 years fully in used barrels. But it surprises me, dude, because like I said, I thought it was going to be a lot more of I thought it was going to be sweeter than it actually is. Maybe the sweet will come out more, but I thought I was going to get like vanilla extract and like caramel extract and all these really sweet flavors from a corn whiskey at 20 years old. That's not really what that brings. It brings a lot more spice, oak, molasses, a little bit of chocolate now is opening up, and ginger. That's generally what I'm getting on that 20-year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5. I need one more glass. All right. So Kenneth Rathburn sent me a blind tasting to do. So what I'm going to do here is go through each and every one of these. And thanks for the awesome content, sipping on some Nom Creek single barrel rye. Cheers. Thanks, Walker. Appreciate you, man. And for everybody watching, thanks so much for the... Uh-oh. How is my battery exhausted? Well, that's not good. All right, guys, I'm going to have to switch my camera here real quick. Give me 1 minute. I have the battery plugged in. How is it exhausted? Hold on 1 second, guys. We're gonna go old school with the camera here a little bit, guys. So hold on 1 second. All right. All right. Coming back at you. Coming back at you. All right, here we go. Start cam, settings, and let's go to this camera. Wow, this camera's terrible. Holy crap. You can see my big ass light. Let me move this over here, guys. Move that over. Have it come down a little bit. There we go. That's a little better. All right. The camera's not the best, guys, but at least we have a camera here. You guys can kind of see my setup. Let me kind of fix the. I'm in for that. I'm in for that dancing goat. Okay. Let me see if I could change this up a little bit here, guys. All right. Let me kind of bring down the brightness here. That is bright. Whoop. A little bit better. All right. Looks like we're gonna have to stay with this, guys. Okay. So here is the new setup here. I'm gonna have to look at this camera right here, guys. I'm looking at you right now. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Appreciate it. Streaming a la 2012. Yeah, what year is this? This is my old backup camera, which is obviously not the greatest. You know, once this camera charges up a little bit, I'll I'll change it back. But for now, let's get this blind tasting going. Just go with the flow here, guys. What we do. I'm still looking at this camera like it's on. It's you. It's this camera. So so Kenneth Rathburn sent me this this blind flight to do. I figured, you know, let's get ready for Matt Madness. I think I'm going to be going here in a couple weeks before my next turn is up. So I kind of paused doing some blind tastings for a while just to kind of freshen up my palate. And, you know, I was tasting some other whiskeys along the way, trying to keep my palate somewhat sharp. But blind tastings is just a whole nother animal. And I had a couple people set up some blind tastings for me, you know, here and there, but I haven't really, you know, gone back to them and really taken a deep dive since I did the original Matt Madness training before I was able to get past that first round. So audience exhausted, vintage, got to be honest, makes you most handsome. So the high def, you don't want to see me, but this way I'm more handsome. All right. All right, let's get these poured and then we'll dive in. These look pretty dark. Kind of excited. So Kenneth, let me know in the chat. Do you want me to, you know, I can interact with you in the chat. Do you want to ask me questions? Do you want me to just kind of go through them and see if I could pick out what? I mean, Kenneth, you let me know. You're in the chat. You're here. Let me know what I have to do with this blind. I just cracked this blind open today. So let's see what we got. Have you tried the sommelier palette kit? I can't say I have, Kenneth. I don't think I've tried the sommelier palette kits. Cannot say. Battery charger fun. The thing, you know, the funny thing is that my camera's been plugged in, so I'm not sure. Maybe it just had an exhausted battery before I even realized it was almost out of battery. But I think the battery doesn't charge fast enough as you're using it. And I think that's the big difference. So the mellow corn deserves its own shelf. Just saying. It does, doesn't it? Come on, that's a beautiful bottle. I don't care what anybody says. That's a beautiful bottle. All right, Kenneth, did you get into the Dickel Rye yet? No, I did not, Kenneth. Black Bourbon family. Oh, it's here. Jason Brand. He tastes the 20 HH20. I did taste it, Jason. It's very good, but as I said, I don't think it's worth the $2.90. I like it. I don't love it. However, for the money, you know, tasting it, it came off a lot spicier and oakier than I thought it would for a high-aged corn whiskey. So I'd say if you could find it at retail, you're not going to be disappointed, but do not overpay for it. Do not overpay for it. All right. All right, Kenneth, I'm just going to dive in here. I'm going to try to figure out proof. I'm going to try to figure out maybe age, and we'll go from there. So let me grab this. Let me grab my pen. Actually, you know what? I'll just write on the envelope that he provided. So we'll go from here. All right, let's see how I do here, guys. I'm going to need a little bit of water first. Mostly freestyle. After you go through them, I might ask you a couple questions. Okay, Kenneth, let's do this. First one, letter A. I'm getting a wheated bourbon-ish nose on it. Coming off a little bit weedy. Man, it's like I feel like I'm on MTV right now. Nice. The mellow corn bottle looks like a super cheap bottle of tequila you buy at a gas station in the middle of New Mexico. I like that. I like that. Man, very fruity though. Very fruit forward, which also makes me think weeder. All right, let's try this one here. John Craner, hope you started with your Z-Biotic tonight. I did. I always take a Z-Biotic before my live streams. They really do help. So, man, that is. I'm not gonna say that's super old. Just off the palate, proof on it. It's got a sneaky spice on the end. I might say that that's like 100 and 110-ish, maybe 110. I'm gonna say maybe it's like 5-6 years old, and I'm gonna say it's a weeder. I'm not really sure what weeder, but we'll go back to it. What is the maker's? When is the maker's BRP review? I actually haven't gotten a chance to get that bottle yet. That bottle, like, it keeps eluding me. I think it dropped in Ohio when I was in Boston, so I didn't get a chance to get one. So if anybody has one or has a sample of one or something, please email me at themashanddrum@gmail.com. I would love to be able to try that bottle and do a full review on it. Master Drum, what would you pay for Buffalo Trace 1995 OFC? Have you tasted the Town Branch Stout and Maple? Have not tasted that, Kino. What would I pay for the 1995 OFC? I'd probably just pay retail, dude. It's already super expensive at retail. Watching this vintage stream brings me back to when I listened to Atmosphere and Dr. Octagon. It is kind of vintage, isn't it? Wow, this is this another weeder? Is this the theme? Is it wheat? Is it wheated bourbons, Kenneth? Because I get a lot of wheat on this. If it's wheated bourbon, then if it's not wheated bourbon, I'll be very surprised. This has like a Honey Nut Cheerios, Frosted Flakes, Wheaties. Like, it's all those cereals in the glass for me. Oh my God, it's so weedy. All right, let's try this one. Maybe it's not a weeder. I don't know what that is. That I'm not digging that one. And honestly, Kenneth, it could be coming off all this other stuff I've had tonight, but that one is not doing it for me. I'm getting a ton of apple on that one. A lot of apple. Proof, I might go. I'm not going to say 110. I might go like 105. I'm going to go. I'm going to do the old 107 proof. The old 107 proof. That is a ton of apple. It's like Apple Jacks. It's a lot of cereal It's a lot of cereal related tasting notes tonight, guys. Your reaction to B doesn't surprise me, says Kenneth. Yeah, I am not digging that. That one's weird. It tastes like stale Apple Jacks, which I don't think is a good thing. All right, let's go to C here. Oh, this smells way better. All right, now we're talking here. This is of the three, this is the best so far. That's nice. Woo! I don't even know what to make of that. This has a fantastic nose to it. This is rich, dense, brown sugars. I think I get apple here too, but it's more of a candy apple. All right, that's good. That's really good too. I think we're going a little bit higher of proof there, though. I would probably go into like 118, 120 for that a little bit, I think, off those specific notes. Say 118. Man, that's good. That is really good. Again, I'm getting apple like I was in the second one, but this is way more of like a red candy apple. This is like a funky, moldy apple in B. Man. But yeah, this better not be a blue run flight. Saucy Shane says, I got a blind flight of the mean to send you, says Saucy Shane. Dude, send it to me, man. Shauna Marie D is still here. Larry Owens, 107 is like a +3 in football. Exactly. You just go 107 if you can. All right. And remember, guys, stick around. We're going to do the giveaway for the bottles here in a little bit once I'm done going through these. All right, letter D. Oh. Wow, letter D is like a damn candy shop on the nose. That is super sweet. Super sweet. Palate disappointed a little bit coming off the nose. Get another sip of that one. Kenneth Rathburn says, rest easy. I've yet to buy any Blue Run and probably never will. I might put that at like the 107 Mark II. That one isn't really, that's just a really good solid bourbon. I feel like these all are kind of finishing the same way. I mean, are these all like wheaters? Or I'm not getting a lot of spice on the finish of any of these. Are these mostly wheaters, or what's the deal here with these? I don't know. Like guessing ages for these, I'm not really getting anything old on any of these. I mean, I would probably guess anywhere from 5 to 8 years old on all of these so far. The only one that I might say is older is this letter C. This letter C has some really nice depth to it. Like this I could see being like maybe an 8 or 9 year old whiskey. That C is easily my favorite so far. All right, let's go to E. Blue Run Emerald is kind of nice. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, the Emerald I could deal with. I think that's the most like rye whiskey that they've made. As like as far as a rye go, I think the Golden Rye. That's one of the worst ryes I've ever had. It's not a rye whiskey. It's like rye water. It doesn't even drink like a rye whiskey. Why make a rye whiskey if it doesn't have any spice to it? The Golden Rye is like why is it golden? What'd you do to it? It's not golden. It's I do not like that Golden Rye at all. I think that's one of the most BS ryes ever. It's not even a rye whiskey. I don't think it should qualify as a rye. It should qualify as rye water. See, the more I drink, the more angry I get about Blue Run. All right. All right, Big Vic. I think I missed it in the chat. Big Vic is we're Why are you did you win the flight tonight? Who won the contest tonight? It's golden because the butterfly peed in the barrel. Oh, freaking Toshi Bake. All right. Let's try this one. E is flat. There's nothing going on with E. E actually has a better nose than a palate, which is interesting. Big Vic said Kelsey whipped my ass. I think E is like 95 proof, maybe. I'm gonna guess 95 on that. That is so like just sweet and easy. It's vanilla cream in a glass. There's not a lot going on. There's no spice to it. Is that a weeder too? Are these all weeders, Kenneth? I'm gonna guess maybe these are all weeders. I think that's Kenneth's theme. Because he sent me all weeders. Because that's what they taste like, at least to me. Interesting. E is probably my favorite or second favorite of the bunch. Really? I mean, it's a very nice whiskey. Is there a finish on that? It's extremely sweet. I could see people loving that whiskey, but coming off these other ones, it just comes off very low proof and very flat. I think that's the problem. I think my favorite is still C. C is the leader in the clubhouse for me, man. C is freaking good. All right, let's go to F. Well, I step away and come back to a new camera angle, says Terrence McDermott. Yeah, my other camera died, apparently, so now we're going old school. We're going with the old MTV camera. You guys get to see a little bit more of the whiskey room from this angle. I got all my got a bunch of bottles right over here, all the different maker's marks. As you work your way down, there's Michter's, and there's some right here is an Elijah Craig Pirate bottle, which is kind of cool. I have a lot of those Elijah Craig Pirate bottles. They're too freaking good. Again, this is very grain forward. Yeah, like Bubble Bath Bourbon. Like I'm totally thinking, like, could this be an Irish whiskey? I don't think it's an Irish whiskey, but this one has like a wine grapey, funky grape thing going on with it. I don't like that either, Kenneth. Yeah, nope. I'm not digging this one. This one's funky, man. This is funky. This is funky Col Medina. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna guess there's some weird finish on that bottle. Kenneth Rathburn. Oh boy. And Kenneth, honestly, this could be all in the order that these are in, because the order definitely affects the whiskeys. I'm just saying, guys. Okay, it's getting a little bit better. Not as funky. I think it just took me a couple sips to get used to this thing because it's definitely very different than these other ones here. Um, Maybe the 20-year got his palate. Late to the party, but cheers all. Thanks, Dan Irving. Thanks for hanging out. Age with particle board staves. I want to say particle board. It's getting better. I think just my palate needed to acclimate to it coming off some of these other ones. Again, I mean, it's okay. There might be a finish on that one. There's something funky on that I'm picking up. Maybe there's no finish, but all right. So, all right, Kenneth. All right, Kenneth. It's on you now here in the chat. I'm gonna kind of highlight you as we kind of go through these. Any questions you have? Let's go through it. What do you want to know? What are your challenge questions for each of these? So let's go through it. So Kenneth, let's start with A. What do you got? I'm gonna start writing some of these down here. All right, I got 3 questions. How many of these have no wheat? How many are finished? And how many are from the sample distillery? Does that mean same distillery or sample distillery? Or do you mean same distillery? Oh, so he's saying wheat. Okay, he's saying there is some wheat here. How many of these are finished? Same. Okay, so here are the questions, guys. He's got 3 questions. How many of these have no wheat? How many are finished? And how many are from the same distillery? Okay, this is cool. I like this. I like this setup. Okay. This is weird because I was like, are these all wheated bourbons? So, the first one I thought immediately was wheaty. So I'm going to say wheat on the first one. The second one I thought maybe was wheaty. But now I'm getting more corn. I don't know what that is. I don't know. That's weird. B is weird. I'm just going to say no on B. I'm going to say it's not wheat. I don't know what that is. C, which was probably still my favorite. Damn, C is easily my favorite. But that drinks like a wheater. I'm going to say C is a wheater. I'm going to say C is a wheater. D. I think D is a wheater. I'm going to say yes. E. E was funky, man. All right. How many of these have no wheat? All right. So I'm going to say I think this one has to be finished. I think F is finished. All right. So I'm going to say that E and F are finished. Which ones have no wheat? I think A. I'm gonna say B. I'm gonna say B and E are the ones with no wheat. B and E, no wheat. So I think A has wheat, C has wheat, D has wheat, and F has wheat. How many are from the same distillery? Oh my god. I don't know. I'm just gonna say 3. I'll say 3 of them are for the same distillery. I got that apple note in 3 of the samples. So I'm gonna say 3 of them are from the same distillery. 3 are from the same. So let's go with that. Trick question. They all have weed. That's what I was thinking, Terrence. That's what I was thinking in the beginning. So based off his questions, I'm gonna write down here. I'm gonna say that 3 are from the same distillery. 1, 2, 3, 4 are wheated, and 2 are not. 1 and 2. Yeah, I'm gonna say 2 are not wheated. And what was the last question here? And how many are from the same sample? Okay, I said 3. How many are finished? Oh yeah, finished. I think 2 of them are finished, and 2 are finished. I think E and F are finished because E and F are funky. All right, here we go. We're gonna see how my answers go here, guys. What time is it? Oh, 10:53. Perfect. All right, let's see how we do here with the old MTV camera. All right, I'm looking forward to your reveal reaction, says Kenneth Rathburn. All right, here is the reveal. Okay. All right, so let's go through these. So first, A, I said was a wheater. I thought it was a wheater. This is Wilderness Trail Wheated Bourbon Small Batch. Oh, it's a pick. It's the bourbon. It's Bourbon Night pick. I wrote down 110 proof. It's 113 proof. Okay, so I said that was a wheater. I got that one. B, I actually said no wheater on that one. Let's see here. B is the Old Elk Straight Bourbon, 7 years. 51 corn, 34 malted barley, 50% rye. I guess 107 proof. It's 108.6. So good with that one. C was my favorite. I thought I thought was a wheated. I circled it as a wheated. C is the Old Elk Wheated Bourbon, Return to Space 2, which is an R bourbon pick, 7 years, 117 proof. I wrote 118. Dude, so far proof, I'm nailing these. All right, let's go to the last 3. D, I also thought was a wheater. It's a wheated bourbon. It's Cosmic Wheat Return to Space 3, 7 years, 51% corn. I wrote 107. It's 105.8. So we're close. We're getting close. E, I thought was finished, and F I thought was finished. Let's see if I was right. E, Old Elk Wheated Bourbon, Cosmic Wheat Return to Space 4, 106.1 proof. Wow. So that is not finished. Okay. And let's see. That's 106 proof. Jesus, I wrote 95. That thing drank way under 106 proof. That's an Old Elk as well. I said 3. You have 1, 2, 3. There's 4 Old Elks in this blind. I said 3. And the last one, which I thought was finished, is a Maker's Mark Private Selection, which is finished. Loretto and Lawrenceburg. It's the Rare Bird 101 Russell's Renegades State Profile 41041, 110.7 proof. I said it was 105 proof. Not bad. So I said 3 were from the same distillery. There were 4, which were from Old Elk. I said, let's see here. I said 4 are wheated and 2 are not wheated. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Shit. Oh wait, no, 5. Well, Maker's Mark is wheated also. So I was off by 1. I thought that there was only 1. I said 4 wheated. There were 5 wheated bourbons in this blind. And the last one was how many were finished. The only one that's finished in here is the Maker's Mark. I said 2, and there was actually 1. So the Maker's Mark is actually the latest finish. That I did pretty good. Kenneth Rathburn, bring in the wheat tonight. Other than one, your proof-o-meter is pretty spot on. Yeah, that Letter E, which was the Old Elk Weeded Bourbon, being 106 proof, I would have never thought that was 106 proof. That thing drank like it was like 95 proof. Damn. Bubble Bath Bourbon says nailing it. Yeah, did pretty good. Jason just showing off now. Yeah, not bad. That's pretty good for a blind tasting after I haven't done one in a long time. Coming off that, maybe trying to get back into these Matt Madness blind tastings I need to do. But Kenneth Ratburn, thanks. That was actually a really cool blind. I love the questions. That was cool. Most of these picks were 7 years old. I had said that I said letter A was 5 to 6 years old. It doesn't have an age on here, so I'm guessing Wilderness Trail is usually 5 to 6. B, I forgot to really write ages on these, but all these B, C, D, and E are all 7 years old. And F, the Maker's Mark's private selects are usually also 6 to 8 years old. So not bad at all. I'll take it. Wilderness Trail's 4 to 5 years. Yeah, see? I think that tasted like 4 to 5 years old. There you go. All right. Which is interesting. The elk that drinks under proof for you, Jay, described as the oakiest of the three I included. Really? That was the E? Yeah. I would not agree with that assessment at all. I think E, if you told me that was 95 proof, I'd believe you. E drinks like 95 proof. It drinks really, really easy, extremely light. I mean, that is the ultimate weeder. 106 proof. That thing's crazy. You could have told me that thing drinks like 90, like that's like 90 proof whiskey. I would have believed you. It does not drink over 100 proof at all. If you told me that was 106, I wouldn't believe you. I mean, you did. I still don't believe you, but that's what it says on the bottle apparently. The Mash and Drum, you are scheduled for a week from Friday. Who are you facing? So Matt Madness, I'm going against. I actually have the thumbnail here. Let me see here. I can tell you guys who I'm facing. So it's going to be. So I am going against Dutch from Curiosity Public, and I'm also going against this guy I don't know. Whiskey. I can't even read it. But yeah, it should be good. So the date that we are going here is going to be, let's see, May 5th at 9 p.m. is when we are going. So May 5th is going to be my round. Let's see. Oh, whiskey Wimps. That's what I'm going against. So it's Curiosity Public, it's Dutch, and then Whiskey Wimps. So those are the guys I'm going to be going against. We'll see how I do. Hopefully, I get to the next round, get at least close to the finals. We'll see how it goes. Haven't heard many chimes tonight. I'm sorry, I'm late on the chimes. Here it is, guys. Give you a little bit of a Blue Run drumstick. There it is. Ooh, it's give me a nice breeze. There you go, guys. Yes. You guys, we're on camera. Over here now. I'm over here now. All right. Yeah, Jason and Dutch should be a good matchup. Yeah, and Whiskey Wimps did pretty good too, so it should be interesting. Again, it's all going to depend on what Matt sends us. So we'll see how it goes. It should be pretty interesting. So it'll be a fun matchable. Dutch will be a formidable competition. Yeah, I mean, I've talked to him before, and he definitely sells himself short a lot, and kind of, he's like, I'm all right. I'm not that. He's a lot better than I think he thinks he is, or at least the way he talks about himself. So it'll be good. I think it's going to be a great round. I can't wait. Again, I am not doing it here. I'm going to do it on my other desk away from my whiskey room so I don't get any sort of distractions. I'm going to, you know, just kind of be in my zone like I was last time, go with my gut, and go from there. So, and this was actually really encouraging tonight. I'm going to do a few more blind tastings in the next couple weeks before my round is up on Friday. So you will see that. Also coming up, I have Dan McKee from Michter's that's going to be coming on the channel, and also Dixon Dedman will be coming on soon to talk about his 2XO brand, talk about sneakers as well, because he's a sneakerhead like I am. So we have a lot of fun stuff coming up here on the Mash and Drum on the live on my live stream. So really appreciate the support, everybody. Look for some really cool videos coming out soon. Excuse me, just looking to catch up with everything, you know, coming off my little bit of vacation here. So Richie Z, let me know how many folks in the list. Let's give away some bottles right now before we call it a night. What do we got, Richie Z? All right. Jason, you go against two Cali guys. Oh, I'm going against two California guys. Huh? Gonna have to go East Coast on them then. Jason Dutch, Wimps just won, says Corn and Whiskey. Wimps just won. Friggin' awesome. Get it, Vic. I pour some innkeepers. I'll pour some innkeepers for that one. Would you be interested in an all Texas blind? I can put one together, says Mr. Mushnick. Cheers, everyone, and good night. Great show, Jason. Tonight's, let's see here. Yeah, the Dixon show I'm really looking forward to. We're going to start like going back and forth on sneakers, I think, and then we'll talk about the whiskey. Just waiting to see what date he's available on a Wednesday night. All right, so Mr. Where is he? Mr. Richie Z. How many, damn it, man, wrong camera. I know, I keep looking here because I'm so used to it. I got to go up here. I see you. I see you guys. All right. How many people do we have in the giveaways, Richie Z? Let me know. We'll pick a number randomly. We'll pick some numbers and give away some bottles tonight. The first one coming up to give away will be the Dancing Goat, will be the Spaniard, which is an absolutely delicious friggin' bottle. So let's go with that. James Lay says, I wear Croc flip-flops. Can we discuss those? Yeah, no, I don't do Crocs. Yeah, I can't. I'm not putting my wide-ass Italian wine grape smashing feet into any freaking Crocs. Just saying. My feet are like this wide. I got to get like the wide. I got to get the wide Air Jordans. We're over here, Jason. Yeah, I know. I gotta look here. I keep looking here because I'm used to it. I'm looking here now. There you go. All right, Richie Z, what do we got? What is worse, Crocs or Yeezys? Oh man, that's a really good question, Steve Johnson. I don't even know. 1 to 69, says Richie Z. All right. Let's go to the first giveaway. Here we go. Pick a number between 1 and 69. Here we go. Number 66. Wow, went on the high end. Richie Z, who is number 66? Who do we got, buddy? Buster Brown Jordans for Jason. So this is for the Spaniard. Who do we got? Richie Z. Let's see, the Spaniard, aka Maximus Decimus Meridius. That's right. One of the best movies of all time. Actually, when I'm done here, I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to watch I got to watch the last episode of The Mandalorian, and I got to watch Ted Lasso. I'm going to do that tonight. I'm going to go sip this cognac, finish J. Henry, and go to bed. Y'all have a great night. Outside the Star OTS, that's an absolutely fantastic bottle. There were 69 entries, and he spent no time on it. 66. Is that like a reverse 69? Kinda. Who do we got? Richie Z. Who is number 66? Who is going to win the old? Give me a sec to randomize, says Richie Z. Ted Lasso episode is great. 66 is like spoons. So real quick, guy, I got a really cool email from a viewer, and he wrote it after my 4Gate review, and he asked, and I'm probably gonna do a full episode on this, but just to kind of tee it up for you guys. Are you going to do a mellow corn? If I could do a mellow corn pick now, it would be amazing. I would love it. Dan Irving wins the Spaniard. I'm sitting here looking for it. Dan Irving, congratulations! You just won the Master Journey Dancing Goat Spaniard. It's friggin' delicious. I'm telling you, you're gonna absolutely love it. So Dan Irving will win the Spaniard. Congrats! All right, let's go to the second giveaway, which I'm going to give away a pair of the Cedar Ridge picks that we did. So let's go again. Pick a number between 1 and 69. Let's see what we got. 24. Richie Z, who do we got at number 24? That's going to win the Cedar Ridge picks. To claim your picks, guys, please email me at themashanddrum@gmail.com. Appreciate it. themashanddrum@gmail.com to claim your picks. I'll get your addresses and I'll get your bottles mailed out to you. So, congrats to Dan Irving. Oh, he's here. Dan Irving. Hell yeah. Thanks, Jason. Congrats, man. Dan, just email me at themashanddrum@gmail.com and send me your address and I will get your bottle out to you as soon as possible. So this is for the 2 Cedar Ridge picks. I can show you guys right here one of them. This is the Cedar Ridge Double Oaked. This is one of them that you will get. And we call this one, since this is out of Iowa, we did kind of a Field of Dreams theme. So this is the Moonlight Graham. We call it the Moonlight Graham, and it's absolutely fantastic. I'm actually going to pour some now. I haven't had this in a minute. So let's see who wins this one. There we go. This basically tastes like chocolate covered strawberries. It's that prevalent on the palate. This if any of you guys have not had, none of you guys have anything from Cedar Ridge, you're missing out on some of the best whiskey, some of the best craft whiskey coming out. Oh shit, Copper Wolf won? Oh nice. Copper Wolf, I know he knows where to find me. Copper Wolf, you're going to win the 2 Cedar Ridge picks. Let's give away another set of the Cedar Ridge picks as well. So let's go to select the number between 1 and 69. Hey. Select the number between 1 and 69. Here we go. This is the third one. 52. Who do we got at 52, Richie? We'll do another set of Cedar Ridge picks. Who do we got? Copper Wolf. I have the double oaks already, and it's delicious, says Copper Wolf. Copper Wolf, just email me. We'll figure out something else if you want a different bottle. But if you want the regular bourbon or another backup, I'll get that for you. By the way, if anybody wants to taste any of these are available on sharedpour.com if you want to get any more of the Cedar Ridge picks that we did. I think people are sleeping on them because they don't know the brand, but I'm telling you guys, it's a younger whiskey, but it's some of the most impressive young whiskey you will ever taste. 4 to 5 years old, full of flavor. It's amazing stuff. So you can get both bottles at Match and Journey pick for under $100 if you want. It's really, really good shit. Cedar Ridge is balls deep in Midwestern whiskey awesomeness, says Lucas Hoffner. So what do we got? Bourbon guy says, "What's a super chat?" So in YouTube, that little dollar sign that's on the bottom, if you send a super chat, you'll get a chance to win some of these. So 52, who do we got for 52? Mr. Well, let me see here. Copper Wolf won that one. Dan Irving won the first one. So who do we got for 52, Richie Z? Who do we got? What is a YouTube? Stephen John. Yeah, Tennessee has locked down a lot of the picks. Unfortunately, there's just the shipping laws in Tennessee are tough. Richie Z, where you at, man? Who's 52? Richie Z is probably scrambling right now. Who the 52? Who the hell do I get? Who is it? Glad I don't live in Tennessee anymore, says James Lay. Congrats to all the winners. So we'll do another round of the Cedar Ridge picks, and then after that, we'll give away one of my Rebel. We call it the Strawberry Smoothie, which is a really, really good weeded bourbon pick from Rebel, which is Lux Row, but it's sourced from Heaven Hill. So it's Heaven Hill Weeder. It's basically larceny. It's a really good pick. Richie Z fell asleep. James Lay says I win by default. Richie Z says, give me a sec, Jay. Okay. Got you, man. Tennessee is just trying to fuel the Smokey and the Bandit reboot. Okay. Yeah, this man, this Cedar Ridge is so damn good. It's chocolate covered strawberries in the glass. Oh, it's so good. All right, Richie Z, waiting on you, buddy. So I was saying earlier, I got a really cool email from oh shit, Kyle Kane. Kyle Kane wins the Cedar Ridge picks. Kyle Kane. All right, congratulations, man. Kyle, if you are watching, you're still watching right now, email me themashanddrum@gmail.com to claim your prize, and I will send that out to you immediately. Congrats to Kyle. That's a new name that hasn't won yet. We'll do one more giveaway for the Rebel, and here we go. Please pick a number between 1 and 69. Last one up is 39. Oh, 39. Richie Z, who do we have for number 39? This will be for the Rebel pick. As we said, we called the Rebel pick the Strawberry Smoothie. So here's the Rebel pick that we did. There's a close-up of it. Again, wrong camera because I'm an idiot. So as you see up there, it says Mash and Journey on the bottom. This is a really delicious pick. I feel like this is better than most of the Larceny Barrel Proofs that you'll get. It's really, really good. So last one, Richie Z. Who do we got for number 39? Congrats, Kyle. Congrats, Kyle. Let's go, says Richie Z. All right, so Kyle wins that one. And let's see, was Kyle still in the chat? Jason, he's taking his mandatory 10-minute break. All right, last one for the Rebel pick. Who do we got? Richie's hair always wins. Richie's hair is glorious. Look at it. Look at that mane he has. Toshi Bake. Oh, yeah. Toshi Bake gets the win. Congratulations. Toshi Bake gets the win for the Rebel pick. Congrats. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in tonight. This was a lot of fun. Congrats to all the winners, Dan Irving, Copper Wolf, Kyle, and Toshi Bake. Cheers, guys. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Next week, tune in. It might be Dan McKee from Michter's. It might be friggin' Dixon Deadman. Could be another blind tasting. We'll see what happens. But thanks for tuning in tonight and supporting the channel. Please like, subscribe before you take off. Thanks to Kenneth Rathburn for sending this great blind flight, which I feel pretty good about. It's a lot of wheat in this flight tonight, but had a really good time. Again, I'm looking at the wrong camera because I'm used to it. But thanks for bearing with me tonight, guys, with the camera changes. And as I always say, it's not about the whiskey, it's the people you share it with. Cheers. See you next time right here on the Mash and Drum. Good night, guys. And give a big cheers to Richie Z for tracking all these names. Take care, guys. It was a lot of fun tonight. Cheers.